Okay. So I want to talk about persuasion and negotiation in business. So, my name is Ayo. I'm the author of Gold Mine of Your Mind. I shared a lot of insights in that book about how the mind works. When you influence other people, it's all about the mind. It's mind games, unleashing influence. That's what I want us to get out of today. So, as I introduced myself earlier, I want to make business fun for entrepreneurs. Because you only have fun when you get results. There are people working 60, 70 hours a week, and they keep doing the same thing over and over again, and they're not getting the right result. So it is important that we get somebody else's perspective and knowledge and insight in order to do well in business. That's part of the reason why I set up this mastermind. Is meeting of the minds for us to solve problems so that we make more impact in the world. So I've worked with high-profile individuals as well as people just starting. It's not about size. It's about commitment and, helping people get results. Okay. So my objective today, I want you to understand how the mind works so that you don't trigger the wrong response from your prospect. I'll read that again. Understand how the mind works so that you don't trigger the wrong response from your prospect. The next part will be to structure your communication to help your audience. Your audience may even be a single individual. Understand your message. So if you're a lover of cricket, you know Monty Panisa. He worked with me as a client, and he left a very beautiful review for me as a testimonial. It's on my website. You can check that out. So I work with MASK. It's an international England player, a former international England player. And, he also said great things about working with me. So why am I sharing this? It's for you to know that what I'm sharing with you here is very powerful. And if you can take something away from it, it doesn't matter the status of the person you're dealing with, you'll be able to communicate in a way that you get result. Whatever that result is up to you. So quick question. This is where I want to test your participation mojo. I think this particular group today, you're really very proactive and you want to participate. We can't even, put in everyone who wanted to ask live questions. So I'm impressed with that already. So is negotiation or persuasion just a talent? Just some people are just gifted, or is it possible to learn it? I want you to unmute yourself and tell me. Both. Thank you. So is it only Giselle that's gonna participate? What about others?
No, I think it's both.
Yeah.
Well, I think, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we're born with negotiating skills anyway. As soon as we come out of the womb, it's just we grow on it. Whether it's a baby crying, trying to negotiate with the mum that they want something. But so it does come naturally. We just got to build on it and like you say, work on our skills.
Yeah.
So I done that, Clive. You're very correct. But what happened is the society and the system actually trained that out of us. Do you know what I mean? And train us to be robots. So then our negotiator skill and our talent then goes into a system that just wants us to work and be robots and not actually be free thinkers.
That's right, brother. Like the factory system I was talking about.
I think that's very correct, Jane. it's not just negotiation they trained out of us. It's everything. It's dreaming. It's fantasy. It's you know, achieving everything. They trained it out of us. Creativity. But let's stay with negotiation here. I like that because yes, some people do have talent. We must recognize that, and but you can also learn, and the way to learn is to actually, if it's important to you, some people, if you work in, you know, if you work as a, you know, nobody is coming to you, you just get your pay at the end of the month, you work in the corner of the office, as they put us in the back of the office as accountants in those days. You may not need to negotiate that much, but if you are running your own business, which is why I'm sharing this, then it's important that we learn these skills. So this is not to make you an expert in how the mind works or the how the brain works. This is just for you to understand enough to be able to understand how your own mind works and how other people's mind works. And when you encounter people and you're armed with this knowledge, you will be able to put your message across in a way that the other person receiving it would understand it, will take action on it, and will benefit from it. Giselle, are you raising your hand to speak, or was it from before?
I had a question when
Okay,
you
good.
used the words negotiation and persuasion, but I don't know if you want me to ask it now or wait.
No, you can ask it now if it clarifies it for you.
Yes, because what came into my mind when you're saying the word negotiation and persuasion is what's the difference, in your opinion, between manipulation and influence?
Yeah.
Is it one of the same? Because persuasion, it's all what, you know, similar. So that's what came up in my head, influence and manipulation. What I wanted to ask your opinion on that.
Yeah, manipulation will be with malicious intent. Perception is getting people to see the value in what you're doing, the value that you're trying to provide for them. I like this. This guy talks about this. J. Abraham.
I've heard of him.
You've heard of him.
In the past, yeah, many years ago.
Yeah, he said if you have a service or product that will be of benefit to others, he said, you have a fiduciary responsibility to make sure you get it in the hands of that individual. Otherwise, you're failing that individual. You must make sure that they buy that product. It is your responsibility, not the other person's responsibility. Yeah? So this is where the difference between, even the big companies do manipulation a lot. I think there is a book called Nudge. Nudge is all about manipulation by big companies. If you can get that book, it's a very interesting book. But let's stay on topic in terms of what we want to achieve today. So, in simplistic terms, the brain is divided into three parts. The crocodile brain, that's the animal part of our brain that thinks that it is still in the jungle. That is where we have the fight, flight, or freeze mode. Yeah. That is the part that sees everything in black or white, is right or wrong. You know, there's no
gray area.
Yeah, no gray area. So that's the crocodile part, and I'll tell you how that part works. The mid part, the mid brain is like where social status is established. And sometimes you don't even say a word. That social status dynamics is at play, and you can feel it, you can hear it. So I will explain more on that. The neocortex, which is the more recent evolved brain, is where we make decisions. It's where rational thinking takes place. It's where we, have our humanity. That's where we make strong decisions or weak decisions, whatever decision we want to make. That's where it happens. When you buy something, that's where you make decision. When you buy a book to read, that's where you make the decision. So those are the three major parts without making it complicated, okay? The crocodile brain behaves like, as it suggests, like an animal in the jungle, yeah? But the interesting part, it is the first part that will receive your information. So let's move forward a bit. So it receives the information first and then decide whether to pass it on to the neocortex. So can anyone remind me what the neocortex part of our brain, what it does?
Makes a decision, action.
Makes the decision, yeah? So if you're pitching to someone, yeah, and it doesn't get to the neocortex, that decision will not even be made. So we need to package our information to bypass that crocodile brain. And I'm going to share with you how to do that.
Emotion.
Is it through neuralistic language programming by any chance?
It's a little part of that. I will get to that in a minute.
Emotion.
Sorry.
So if you don't get the information to the neocortex, the information will not get there. You can't make the decision. So these are the characteristics of the crocodile brain. Yeah. It's lazy. It's like a child. It loves stories. Yeah. It prefers shortcuts. Yeah. Because it doesn't want to think. It doesn't want to use energy. And that's not its forte anyway. It's the neocortex that will do all the thinking. It's easily bored. Yeah. So it loves instant gratification and don't want to think long term. Yeah. And it's where we have the fight, flight, or freeze. So how is this information useful to us when we encounter another individual? We will get to that. So these are the renowned experts in negotiations and persuasion based on how the mind works. Itiedro is a professor, University College of London. He did this research about mind for the military, for police, for government agencies, for big multinationals. Professor Steve Peters is the 2012 Olympics. The results the GB team got was down to this man. And it's because he was the one in charge of managing all the athletes in terms of their psychology. So he's written a book called Chimp Paradox, powerful book. Robert Cardin is also a professor that done research into influence. Actually, he published a book called Influence. That book is also very good. Richard Bandler is the NLP guru. He is the founder of NLP with John Grinder. I think John Grinder along the line dropped out and Richard Bandler just continued that project. It's very old now, but he did that. He created that technology, neuro-linguistic programming, how you use language to affect the neurology in order to get people to change. I think his focus is more about change. Robert Cardini, his focus is more about influencing people to make a decision, right or wrong decision. It depends on how you want to use the skills. Professor Steve Peters is all about therapy and living happily and getting results, performance out of yourself, understanding the dynamics of how the mind works. And Itiedro is all about research into how big companies and multinationals can use how the brain works to get great results. So I took from all this different, I just picked the top 4. There are about 50 top gurus in this area. I just picked those 4 renowned individuals as an example for you. I took all this knowledge and put them together to create what can work for small businesses. Yeah, what communication, what scripting, what messaging will work for small businesses so that your information gets past the gatekeeper. Can anyone remind me who that gatekeeper is as part of our brain?
Crocodile.
Yeah?
Cortex.
No, who is the gatekeeper? Who receives the information first?
The crocodile brain.
Yeah, it's the crocodile
reptile brain.
Yeah, it's the crocodile brain that receives it. So it's the gatekeeper. Yeah? If you've experienced trying to get to decision makers, you've encountered gatekeepers, they won't let you see the person you want to see except you have appointment or something like that. It's similar. So if you can't get past the crocodile brain, you can't get to the place that will make the decision, which is the neocortex. So how do you package your information? I'm trying to cramp into 15 minutes what I've taught some companies for 3 days. So you excuse me. So I'm gonna make it as quickly, as short as possible, but still deliver value to you. So make sure it is fast. Make sure it's novel. It's not gonna bore the crocodile brain. Make sure it's visual. And make sure you have stories in it. That's the narrative part. So let's talk about social encounter. So social encounter is governed by frames. Social encounter may be one-on-one. It may be myself and Clive having a meeting. That's a social encounter. Or we might be having a lunch together, whatever that is, whatever the purpose is. It might be a discovery call. You're talking to somebody to buy your service for the first time. That's a social encounter. So you need to package your information in a way that will get through to the other person. So let me explain a bit more about frames. So these are 2 individuals, yeah? Can you see the boxes in front of them? Okay, those boxes are like the frames. So these 2 people, they're coming together. When they come together, they bring in different perspectives, they bring in different ideas, they bring in different social status. So when that frame collide, yeah, one frame, when they meet, that frame will collide, and the stronger frame will swallow the weaker one. From that moment on, the stronger frame is in charge, is in control. Yeah? So who is influenced when one person is in control? Is the person in charge. Yeah? So I always say to some of my clients that if you are going into a meeting, decide in advance who are you being at that meeting. If you are being shy and retiring and timid, what kind of action are you going to carry out there? Can somebody tell me?
Shy and timid.
Yeah, shy and timid. That's your frame. So if you are going there with the frame of I'm shy, I'm timid, that's the frame and the moment you encounter the frame of the other person who is revved up, is confident, saying I'm confident, I'm the boss here. I'm gonna get results. So straight away, you are at the mercy of the person who has the frame. So the stronger frame wins. So the quick analogy I can make of this is boxers. I love boxing. Some women don't. Some women do actually love boxing. I like it when they do their weigh-in, after the weigh-in and all of that, they do this. They call it face-off. They do this face-off. Some psychologists actually say they know who is going to win the next day because of this encounter. Yeah, because if you are the one that, if you are in this boxer's frame with the stronger frame, you've already won 50% of the boxing match. So that's a good analogy for us to have. So always the stronger frame wins. So I'm looking at the dynamics of the social encounter now. Yeah. So if you're going into a negotiation or a persuasion, decide in advance what your frame is gonna be. So different types of frames. I would love to go into the details of all of this, but we really don't have time. But just take note of them. I'll just give brief examples. So let's look at time frame. Time frame. Have you seen buy now before? Buy now? Have you seen buy now anywhere? Give me an example of where you've seen buy now.
On an advert, it's an action word. Usually
now,
prompts
register
people
now.
Yeah.
People to take action. It's usually in capitals as well.
Yeah. So they'll make it bold. They'll make it in red. They want you to see it. You buy it now. They're talking to your subconscious by doing that, right? So that's a frame. That's time frame. Or they will tell you the offer ends in 3 days. Yeah. So that's time frame. Power frame is easier to explain. If you've been to the courts, you see that they put the judge in very high place with big robes, with big chairs and everything. All of that is power frame. They want you to see the judge as so powerful, and they are, so that you don't disobey the court. They even add to that contempt of court. So if you misbehave in court, they're gonna deal with you seriously. So you have to comply. So that's power frame. Very, very simple. However, power frame in simple social encounter doesn't mean that the person who is most powerful will win. If you know how to switch it on its head, you can actually take the power from the person who is more powerful than you. And so that way you exert more influence on that individual. Analyst frame is where if you're talking to somebody for the first time and you start telling them, about numbers, about, complicated ideas, the crocodile brain doesn't like that, and it will not pass the information on. Yeah. But if you start with stories and you start with narratives and you make it visual, you make it simple, you make it easy to understand, keep it simple, stupid, then the crocodile brain will pass the message to the neocortex to make that decision. Moral authority frame. So the good example I can use, this is a very, very old example. It is moral authority frame is Gandhi. When Gandhi was leading India into independence, he didn't have any of the power of the British Army, no machine guns, no weapons, nothing. He doesn't even own a suit of clothes. But that man had more power than the British. Why? Because he's operating from moral authority point of view. And he won. He won without firing a bullet, without having all the instrument of power. So sometimes this man understands the power of frames. So that's a very simple example for us to understand. So how do we use this? How do we use this in our day-to-day life? It's what I call script. Yeah. If you take all the information I've shared with you, go and sit down and meditate on it, and then provide a script that you're gonna use. Quick example. I don't know if Gail is still here. Gail is a personal trainer, and she has this wonderful program called Sync Program. And she was getting a lot of leads, and she wasn't getting clients. She wasn't converting them. and she was coaching with me at the time. And we constructed a script together, and in about 4 weeks, she got about 8 clients from zero. Yeah, using those scripts. So, so if Gail is there, she can testify to that. So if you sit down and craft this yourself, you get a lot of value from it. And if you need help from me, I'm not here to sell you anything. If you need help from me or questions, please reach out to me. I'm happy to help. So questions? Any questions?
No question, but I just wanted to back up what you were saying, Ayo. It's Gail here. Just wanted to back up that, yes, absolutely. That's exactly what happened. You know, yeah, we went from 0 clients to a number of clients, and it wasn't 4 weeks. It was immediately. I think within a couple of weeks,
Yeah.
there were clients that were there. Yeah, from the script.
Exactly. So what I'm sharing with you works if you actually sit down and think about it and work on it.